easily. Remember everyone, nucleophile attacks easily in the first one, but not in the second one. What is the reason here? In second one, you see here, carbon is bonded to bulky alkyl groups. So alkyl groups are there here. Methyl group is there, you see. They are very heavily crowded. But whereas in first case, you see, small hydrogen atoms are there. Crowding is less. Therefore, nucleophile can attack easily here. Whereas in second case, due to heavy crowding, you see, nucleophile cannot attack easily. Therefore, I can come to a conclusion that rate of SN2 is inversely proportional to crowding. This is also one of the important point. Rate of SN2 is inversely proportional to crowding. Wherever crowding is more, their rate of SN2 will be less. Wherever crowding is more, their rate of SN2 will be less. So in first case, you see, crowding is less. So rate of SN2 will be more. In case of second one, you see, crowding is very high. So rate of SN2 will be very less. Clear everyone? Now tell me, primary alkyl halide, secondary alkyl halide, tertiary alkyl halide, which is less crowded? Primary. So rate of SN2 is what? Primary greater than secondary greater than tertiary. This is the rate of SN2, order of reactivity towards SN2. Order of reactivity towards SN2. Primary greater than secondary greater than tertiary. I hope it is clear to everyone. Why primary is more reactive in SN2? Why? Because primary is less crowded. Which is heavily crowded? Tertiary. So remember everyone, tertiary substrate never show SN2. Tertiary substrate never show SN2. Why never show SN2? Why? Because it is heavily crowded. So tertiary substrate never show SN2 mechanism. I hope it is clear to everyone. Followed? Okay, let me move to the next slide here. Now, so see clearly one important thing I want to discuss here. CH3, CH, CH3, CH2 bonded to leaving group. Okay, you know, this is called isobutyl. You might have learned in nomenclature. Next, one more you see here, CH3, C, CH3, CH2 bonded to leaving group. This is called neopentyl. Neopentyl. Now try to understand. In isobutyl, you see, leaving group bonded carbon is immediately bonded to another carbon. So it is primary. Neopentyl also you see, leaving group bonded carbon is immediately bonded to another carbon. This is also primary only, neopentyl. Is it clear? So this is prime, isobutyl is primary, neopentyl is also primary. But you know, in SN2, nucleophile attacks from backside. But you see at the backside, very heavy crowding is there. When heavy crowding is there, can nucleophile attack from backside? No. Even here also you see, in the backside, very heavy crowding is there, you see. Therefore, here also, attacking of nucleophile from backside is not possible. So, isobutyl and neopentyl, though they are primary, but they never show SN2. This is one of the previous JEE mains question. They never show SN2, remember everyone. Why? What is the reason? The reason is that they are heavily crowded. Though they are primary, nucleophile cannot attack from backside. Why? Because they are heavily crowded. Due to that heavily crowded part, nucleophile cannot approach the carbon very easily. Therefore, isobutyl and neopentyl, though they are primary, they cannot show SN2. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, right. One more important thing in SN2 mechanism. Now, see, one more important thing is what here I told you, R bonded to leaving group, then nucleophile attacks on the R. Nucleophile attacks on the R from backside. Then what happened? Transition state is formed. Okay, so R, that means the bond between R and leaving group slowly becomes weak. The bond between R and nucleophile slowly becomes strong. Nucleophile will be having negative charge. Leaving group also have negative charge. So this is called as the transition state. So overall transition state will have negative charge. Overall transition state will have negative charge. Why negative charge? I think you understood. Nucleophile negative charge, leaving group also negative. So overall transition state will get negative charge. Clear? Now tell me, negative charge is stabilized by what? Minus I or minus M groups. This we studied in GOC also. Minus M or minus I groups, they stabilize the negative charge. So remember everyone, rate of SN2 is directly proportional to rate of SN2 is directly proportional to stability of transition state. Stability of transition state. If the transition state is more stable, rate of SN2 will be more. Then you can ask me how to know transition state more stable. So in the given substrate, if minus I or minus M groups are present, they will stabilize the negative charge. When the negative charge is stabilized, transition state will be stabilized. Proportionately, rate of SN2 increases. So can I come to a conclusion like this? When minus I or minus M groups are present, rate of SN2 will be high. When minus I or minus M groups are present, rate of SN2 will be high. Because they stabilize the transition state. I think you are understanding. Followed? Right. Let me go to the next slide then. Now, here, let me take one examples. Now, here, this is one compound which is bonded to the leaving group. Next, this is one compound which is bonded to the leaving group, but here NO2 is also there. Tell me, out of these two, which undergo SN2 at a faster rate? Out of these two, which undergo SN2 at a faster rate? So here, what is the answer? You know, second one. Why? Why? Because NO2 is there here. NO2 is what? Minus I group. Just now I told you minus I or minus M will stabilize the transition state. Thereby rate of SN2 will be more. Hope you are able to understand. Clear? Now next. Second, one more example I want to take here. So you see, this is the benzyl chloride at para position. Let me put CH3. Similarly, one more compound here. See clearly, benzyl chloride at the para position NO2. So tell me, which is having high rate towards SN2? Which is having high rate towards SN2? Compare the rate of SN2. Compare the rate of SN2 out of these two. So what is the answer? Second one, why? Here NO2 is there. NO2 will show minus M effect, while here CH3 is there, it will show plus hyperconjugation because of 3 alpha hydrogens here, and minus M groups will stabilize the transition state, thereby rate of SN2 will be increased. Clear everyone? Next, still one more example here. Now, so here I am taking now two compounds here. See clearly, CH3, CH2 bonded to leaving group, and one more compound, CH3, C double bonded O, CH2 bonded to leaving group. This is also one of the previous JEE mains question. Tell me, which is having more rate towards SN2 and why? Which is having more rate towards SN2 and why? Compare the rate of SN2 out of these two. Okay, so what is the answer? Second one, why? Here C double bonded O is there, which is a minus I group. So minus I group will stabilize the transition state. Okay, next, one more example, see clearly here. So here CH3, CH2, CH2 bonded to leaving group, then after CH2 double bonded CH, and here CH2 bonded to leaving group. Which is having more rate towards SN2 out of these two? Compare the rate of SN2. Again, answer is second one. Why? Here sp2 carbon is there, whereas here sp3 carbon is there, which is more electronegative, sp2. So that will act as minus I group. I think inductive effect is due to what? Electronegativity difference only. Hope it is clear to you, everyone. Rate comparison of SN2. Hope it is clear to everyone. Please copy quickly. Okay, right. In SN2, one more important topic of SN2, stereochemistry. Of SN2. Stereochemistry of SN2. Okay, so what is the stereochemistry of SN2? Now, see clearly, everyone now. Here, let me take now, carbon is bonded to 3 methyl groups, see clearly, and it is bonded to a leaving group called chlorine. Now, let me take a nucleophile here. Followed. So, remember everyone, nucleophile attacks from the back side of the carbon bonded to leaving group. Attacking from backside is called as inversion. Attacking from backside, this is very important point. So the stereochemistry of SN2 is inversion. Attacking from backside is called inversion, whereas attacking from front side is called retention. So in SN2, retention never happens, only inversion happens. You may ask me, sir, why not retention? That also we are going to see here. So here, once you see now, retention is what? Front side attack. So I think, chlorine will be having the negative charge. Nucleophile also negative charge. So if nucleophile attacks from front side, so both negatives, both like charges repel each other. Now tell me, front side attack is possible? No, not possible, because like charges repel each other. Therefore, to avoid the repulsions, nucleophile attack from the back side only, and hence inversion is possible, but not retention. Retention is not at all possible. Retention is front side attack, inversion is back side attack. I think everyone able to follow. And this inversion was first observed by a scientist called Walden. Walden is the first scientist who observed this one. So this inversion is called Walden inversion. This inversion is called Walden inversion. I think you understood my point here. Walden inversion. Walden is the scientist who first observed this one. So if anyone asks you what is the stereochemistry of SN2, stereochemistry of SN2 is 100% inversion. 100% inversion. No retention possible here. Followed? Now here, one more important thing I want to discuss in SN2 mechanism. For example, carbon, let us think it is bonded to one atom A, one atom B, one atom D, and here a leaving group is there. Okay. So I think, carbon which is bonded to 4 different groups. Carbon which is bonded to 4 different groups is called as the chiral carbon. Chiral carbon. In 11th class optical isomerism, this would be there. Chiral carbon. Is it clear, everyone? Remember, for every chiral carbon, 2 configurations are possible, either R configuration or S. How to find this, I will explain. Whether it is having R configuration or S configuration, I will explain. Is it clear? Every chiral carbon have any one configuration, either R configuration or else S configuration. Now, let us think here, this chiral carbon is having R configuration. Let us think. Now, here, in the SN2, what happened? Nucleophile attacks from the backside. Then product will be formed here. Clear? In the product, the configuration of the chiral will be S, remember. Okay, that means in SN2, if reactant is having R configuration, product will be having S configuration. Similarly, if the reactant is having R configuration, then the product would be having R configuration. So in SN2, R converts to S and S converts to R. This is called inversion. How to know R and S, that I will explain when I will be explaining about the optical isomerism. Just here you remember R and S configuration. So remember, for every chiral center, some configuration, two types of configurations are possible, R or S configuration. So what happened here, in SN2, R should be converted into S, or else S should be converted into R, 100%, this one. This is called inversion. So in SN2, there is only inversion. There is no possibility of retention. I think it is clear to everyone. Now, these are some important things regarding SN2 mechanism. So now I want to summarize all the factors of SN2 at one place. So summary of factors affecting SN2. Summary of factors affecting SN2. Okay. The first and very important thing is that very strong nucleophile is required. Very strong nucleophile in high concentration, that too. Why? This I told you yesterday also. When the nucleophile is very strong, then only it can fill the electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So who can fill the electrons in anti-bonding? Very strong nucleophiles only. And very strong, how to identify? I told you, all anionic nucleophiles are very strong, except ammonia. Ammonia is the only neutral nucleophile which can show SN2. This also I told you yesterday. Ammonia is the only neutral nucleophile which can show SN2. Followed everyone? This is the first factor of SN2 mechanism. Clear? Now, second factor. Just now I told you, rate of SN2 is inversely proportional to the crowding. Crowding less means rate will be more. So crowding is less in primary than secondary than tertiary. So this is the order of reactivity of alkyl halides towards SN2 mechanism. Order of reactivity of alkyl halides towards SN2 mechanism. Followed? Right. Now, third factor, polar aprotic solvents favor SN2. Why not polar protic? This also I told you. Polar protic solvents will do the ionization and they will form the intermediate. But I told you, in SN2, there is no intermediate. Clear everyone? Polar aprotic solvent favors SN2 because here what happened, in case of SN2 mechanism, no intermediate will be there. If you take polar protic, intermediate will be created. I hope it is clear to everyone. Let me go to the next slide. Now, see clearly in the next slide. Now, next one, fourth one, rate of SN2 is directly proportional to leaving ability. Rate of SN2 is directly proportional to leaving ability of leaving group. Because leaving group also leaving in rate determining step only. Na? Therefore, its leaving ability also determines the rate. Rate of SN2 directly proportional to leaving ability of the leaving group. Clear? Fifth and most important point. Remember, SN2 leads to inversion. Just now I told you, it was observed by Walden. So, Walden inversion. This is very important point. SN2 always leads to inversion. SN2 always leads to inversion. Retention is not possible because like charges repel each other, as I told you. Followed everyone? So these are the 5 factors which affect the rate of SN2 mechanism. These are the 5 factors which affect the rate of SN2 mechanism. By this, SN2 is completed. And in our textbook, 12th class chemistry textbook, in haloalkenes, haloarenes chapter, after completing the chapter, some book back questions will be there. In that, some SN2 questions are there. You please solve them. Still, if you are not getting, you can contact me. Followed? Now, next one. Okay, I am going to start here SN1 mechanism. SN1 mechanism. So, what is this SN1 mechanism? Unimolecular nucleophilic substitution. Unimolecular nucleophilic substitution. Please put the heading, everyone. Right now, in SN1 mechanism, one important thing is that, see clearly, it is a two-step mechanism. Did you notice SN2? SN2 was one-step mechanism, but SN1 is a two-step mechanism. This is one very important point in case of SN1 mechanism. It is a two-step mechanism. I hope you are understanding my point here. Okay. Now, how it is a two-step mechanism that I am going to show you. So now see clearly in the first step, R is bonded to leaving group. So see clearly in presence of polar protic solvent. Here I wrote PP, that means polar protic solvent here. So in presence of polar protic solvent, I told you ionization takes place. See clearly, ionization takes place. So what is R plus? R plus is what? Carbocation. Carbocation is formed. And remember, this positive, this negative again may combine each other. Reaction may go in the backward direction also. Therefore, the first step is reversible. Clear? One important thing you see this substrate. This is neutral. No charge is there. Whereas the product, you see products are having charges. So neutral more stable. Charged one more stable. Neutral is more stable. So this reaction is moving from more stable state to less stable state. Will it move slowly or fastly? The reaction is moving from more stable state to less stable state. So will the reaction move slow or fast? Reaction will move slow only. Why? Because it is moving from more stable state to less stable state. So it is a slow step. Remember, slow step is called as rate determining step, RDS. So first step itself is the RDS. And remember everyone, RDS step is always a slow step, always. Rate determining step is always a slow step. I hope it is clear to everyone. And this is the first step of the mechanism. Right. Now let me go to the second step. So second step, what happened? The carbocation which is formed in the first step, okay, that combines with nucleophile. So you see this is positive, this is negative. Unlike charges attract each other, attraction happens very quickly. Therefore, this is the first step of the mechanism. Then what you will get here? RNU. Then you will get here RNU. Clear everyone? So you see, these are the two steps involved in SN1 mechanism. So SN1 is a two-step mechanism. Here I mentioned, you see clearly, these are the two steps in which first one is the RDS step, second one is the fast step. Fast step is not RDS, remember. So please copy quickly. Right? Now let us move to the next slide then. And here I will show you SN1 rate depends on what. Okay. So for that one, let me write the RDS step once again so that it will be clear to you. So in RDS step, what happened? This substrate will undergo ionization. This only I told you. And this is the RDS step of the mechanism. Clear? Now try to understand, in the RDS step only one molecule of the reactant is participating. Clear? Therefore rate of SN1. Okay. So see clearly, everyone know, rate of SN1 directly proportional to concentration of the substrate power 1. Why power 1? I told you, number of moles right in the power. That is called as what? Order. So order of the reaction 1. That is called as order. Order of the reaction is 1. Clear? How many molecules are participating in the RDS step? Only one molecule. Therefore, molecularity is also equal to 1. What is molecularity? Number of moles participating in RDS step is called molecularity. I hope you are able to understand. So molecularity is 1, order also 1. Okay, na? Now you see, this reaction is called SN1 mechanism, right? So here you see now, this 1 is there na, 1 stands for molecularity. Next, N stands for nucleophilic. Clear? S stands for substitution. So I think, you know, 1 is also called as what? Uni. Therefore it is called unimolecular nucleophilic substitution. Unimolecular nucleophilic substitution. Hope it is clear to everyone. Unimolecular nucleophilic substitution. Right? Come on, let us move to the next slide then. Okay. So now in this slide, see clearly everyone now, we are going to see the energy profile diagram. Energy profile diagram of SN1, nothing but graph. This we did even in SN2 mechanism also. So we are going to see the energy diagram of SN1 mechanism. Clear? So here I am showing you the graph potential energy versus reaction coordinate. I told you yesterday also, reaction coordinate means what? Progress of the reaction. Clear everyone? Reaction coordinate is the progress of the reaction. Okay, then see clearly in the previous slide, let me once put the previous slide. In the previous slide, you see now, try to understand, See, neutral molecule is converting into ions. So neutral more stable, ions less stable. More stable will have less energy. Now coming to the point of graph. So less energy going to more energy. Clear everyone? Neutral molecule is converting into ions. So neutral is more stable. More stable will have less energy. Less energy is going to more energy. Then after what happened? They are at the RDS step, you see carbocation is formed. Carbocation is the intermediate. I told yesterday also. Intermediate is more stable when compared to transition state. Transition state is less stable. This I told you in SN2 mechanism also even. Followed everyone? Then after in the fast step, what happened? Fast step, carbocation combines with nucleophile. Then finally we will get the product like this. So these are the reactants. These are the products. And this is the carbocation. I hope you are understanding my point here. Now tell me, when compared to this carbocation, this point you see, this is at higher energy or lower energy? Higher energy only. Higher energy means less stable. Less stable is called as the transition state. Less stable is called as the transition state. Clear? Now, here also again you see when compared to carbocation, this point you see this also higher energy. So this is also called as a transition state only. So let me number this as first transition state, this as second transition state. Clear? So one important point here, every carbocation is surrounded by two transition states. This is one of the previous JEE mains question. Every carbocation is surrounded by two transition states always. So I hope you are able to understand my point here. Right now, here, let me draw one dotted line. See clearly, one dotted line I am drawing here. Okay. So this is called as the activation energy. About activation energy, in detail, we will be studying in chemical kinetics chapter again of 12th class physical chemistry. So at this moment, just remember what is activation energy, just remember that's it. Clear, everyone? So now you see, this is also called as the activation energy. So this is activation energy 1, this activation energy 2. Once again, I am telling you, activation energy you are going to study in chemical kinetics chapter. Followed everyone? Right. Now, one important thing I want to discuss here. Okay. Remember everyone, according to chemical kinetics, rate is inversely proportional to activation energy. Rate is inversely proportional to activation energy. About all these things in chemical kinetics you'll be studying, don't worry. Clear? Now, according to the graph you see, according to the graph, activation energy 1 is greater than activation energy 2. According to the graph you see, EA1 value is more than EA2 value. Then what happened then? R1 should be less than R2. According to this relation, rate 1 should be less than rate 2. I hope you are understanding my point. R1 is the rate of first step. R2 is the rate of second step. So whose rate will be less? first step. That is the reason why first step is the slow step, and hence it is the RDS step of the mechanism. I think you understood now. First step is the slow step. R1 less than R2. That means first step is having less rate. Less rate means what? It is a slow step. So slow step is called as what? RDS step. Followed everyone? That is the reason why first step is the fast step and second step is the, first step is the slow step and second step is the fast step of the mechanism. Clear, everyone? Now I think you understood that why first step is the slow step, because its rate will be less. Why rate will be less? It will be having more activation energy. Now, one more important thing you see. How many peaks are there in the graph? How many peaks are there in the graph? 2 peaks are there. So when 2 peaks are there, then I told yesterday, number of peaks equal to number of steps in the mechanism. Since 2 peaks are there, SN1 is a 2-step mechanism. SN1 is a 2-step mechanism. This I told you in SN2 also. In SN2, did you remember? Only one step, one peak was there. So it was a 1-step mechanism. But in SN1 graph, 2 steps are there. Therefore, it is a 2-step mechanism. I think it is clear why 2 steps, all these things. And why first step is the slow step, I think you are able to understand. Followed. Let me move to the next slide then. Now, see here, let us go to the second step of the mechanism. What is second step here? Carbocation combines with nucleophile. Then what you will get here? RNU. Anyone remember this? I told you it is a fast step of the mechanism. Fast step is not RDS step, remember. Slow step is the RDS step. So tell me, nucleophile is attacking in the fast step, but fast step is not rate determining step. Therefore, I can come to a conclusion like this. So remember, rate of SN1 is independent. Rate of SN1 is independent of concentration of nucleophile. Since nucleophile is coming in the fast step never determines the rate. So rate of SN1 is independent of concentration of nucleophile. It do not determines the rate concentration of nucleophile, rate of SN1. Since rate of SN1 is independent of concentration of nucleophile, what happened here? Weak nucleophile is enough. There is no requirement of strong nucleophile here. Why? Because anyway rate is independent of concentration of nucleophile, na? So weak nucleophile is enough here. Therefore weak nucleophile favor SN1. Weak nucleophiles favor SN1. Examples of weak nucleophiles like water I can take, alcohol I can take, etc. Tell me, water, alcohol, do they have any charge? No. So I can call them neutral. So all neutral nucleophiles favor SN1 except ammonia. Did you notice? Except ammonia. Ammonia favors what? SN2 mechanism. Ammonia favors SN2 mechanism. All neutral nucleophiles except ammonia favors SN1 mechanism. I hope you are able to understand. Clear? Right. Let me move to the next slide then. Okay. Now see clearly next slide. So once again I want to discuss the RDS step here. So in the RDS step, what happened here? R plus C is formed and leaving group minus C is formed. That means you see neutral molecule is splitting into ions. This is called ionization. Which solvents will do ionization? Polar protic solvents will do ionization. Polar protic only will do ionization. Polar aprotic never do the ionization. So which solvents will favor SN1 mechanism? Polar protic. So here I am writing. So see clearly everyone know. Polar protic solvents. Polar protic solvents favor SN1 mechanism. Polar protic solvents favor SN1 mechanism. Because in presence of polar protic solvents only, ionization takes place, then only carbocation is formed. See, this is the carbocation. Clear everyone? In the starting, that means in the preparation methods I told you, whether remembered or not, I don't know. Once again, I want to remind you, whenever carbocation is formed, it will undergo rearrangement. Whenever carbocation is formed, no doubt it will undergo rearrangement. What is the need of rearrangement? Stability, to increase stability. Is it clear everyone? Carbocation, whenever carbocation is formed, it will undergo rearrangement. Rearrangement means what I told you, hydride shift, methyl shift, ring expansion, ring contraction, all these things are the rearrangements. Followed everyone? Now, here, one more important thing I want to discuss here. Now, for example, here you see now, ray R bonded to leaving group. Okay. So, in the RDS step, first of all, carbocation is formed. Am I right? Then leaving group is formed. Now, this carbocation which is formed, let us think it is undergoing the rearrangement. Then we got the second carbocation. Let us think this is first carbocation. This is the second carbocation. Two carbocations we got. Let us think R1, R2. And remember, R2 is formed after rearrangement. R1 before rearrangement. Is it clear everyone? Remember everyone, rate depends on rate of SN1 is directly proportional to stability of first carbocation. First carbocation means what? R1. Okay, because you see clearly first carbocation is formed in the RDS step, but second is not formed in the RDS step. You see, it is formed after rearrangement. And remember everyone, rearrangement is a fast step. Rearrangement is always a fast step. Rate never depends on the fast step. Rate depends only on the slow step. Slow step is called as the RDS step. So remember everyone, rate of SN1 directly proportional to stability of that carbocation which is formed in the RDS step. That means which is formed first, but not which is formed later. Please try to understand this point here, everyone. Rate always depends on the stability of that carbocation which is formed first, but not later. Later means what? Which is formed after rearrangement. Because I told you, once again reminding you, rearrangement is a fast step. I hope you are able to understand this point clearly. Okay. Still some more important points are there in SN1 mechanism that I will explain you in tomorrow's class. And here I am showing you the slides from starting onwards. If any slide is missing, you can copy or else take the screenshot. This is the first slide where I explained you rate is inversely proportional to crowding. This is the second slide where I explained you about the isobutyl and neopentyl systems. Followed, then after, stability of transition state, third slide. Stability of transition state here. Okay. Then here we did some questions on comparison of SN2 rate. Comparison of rate of SN2. Clear? Still some more questions of SN2 rate comparison. Then after, stereochemistry of SN2, inversion, Walden inversion. Then after, in a chiral center means what? Carbon bonded to 4 different groups. Always R converts to S, S converts to R, 100%. That is called inversion. And once again, I am telling you, for every chiral center, 2 types of configurations are possible, either R configuration or S. How to know R and S? That I will explain you in optical isomerism. If the reactant is having R configuration, then the product would be having S configuration. That is called inversion. Followed everyone? Right. Now, here I summarized all the factors of SN2. Summary of factors of SN2. Here 3 factors are there, you see. In the next slide, 2 factors. Then here I started SN1 mechanism, unimolecular nucleophilic substitution. It is a 2-step mechanism. First step is RDS, second step is the fast step. Then in the 11th slide, I explain you rate depends on what factors. Then after, energy profile diagram of SN1 mechanism. Energy profile of SN1 mechanism. Then what is the role of nucleophile in SN1 mechanism? Then what is the role of solvent in SN1 mechanism? What is the role of solvent in SN1 mechanism? Then the last slide, rearrangement, carbocation rearrangements in SN1 mechanism. Clear? So we will be doing some questions on SN1 mechanism in the tomorrow's class. Karthik?
Sir.
So session is closed, okay,
Sir?
na? This session is
Yes, sir.
closed.
Okay, sir. 10:40 is finished.
Can I leave the meeting?
Okay, sir. 10:40 is finished.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you,
sir.
students.
Thank you.
Thank you, students, everyone.